Hello! Welcome to the land of Kakiak. My name is Laurel and I homeschool my 3 boys using the Robinson curriculum as the base of their education. Tonight I am planning, I plan 1 week at a time for all 3 kids. I've got a 6th grader, a 2nd grader, and a preschooler. It has been a day when I end the night, when I end the day with 2 ibuprofen and a hot lemon water. Is anybody else having a week like this? Anyways, so what's going to be different about this upcoming week is we're starting a new resource for my 6th grader and a different approach to math facts for my 2nd grader. And also I am going to go back to my RC base plan and let go of the RC of the plus stuff, most of the plus stuff, I should say, this week. So let's open it up. Let me take my ibuprofen. Let's open up the planner. Okay, I'm starting with my 6th grader. So before I can plan a new week, I always have to look over the previous week I'm in. So today's Thursday. So I still have Friday and Sunday to complete this week. So I'm just going to check on that. So I know that Everett actually finished his last Rover Boys book and he has turned in his chapter notes and book summary to me. And I did grade it, but I didn't write it on here. He did everything how I wanted him to. So I'm going to go ahead and write in his grade. And I'll set that aside. Okay, so what is new for Everett, and it's going to start tomorrow, but it'll carry on into next week, is he is onto a new book. So we are going to go ahead and read this G.A. Henty, The Dragon and the Raven. I talked about it, I think, in my last video, and I've already pulled up a Liverbox audiobook for it and saved it in my Henty playlist. If you want to see what Henty audiobooks I've gotten there, just go to my playlist and look for Henty audiobooks. Anyway, so the one we'll be listening to is there. And he just needs to read 1 chapter a day. And I let him with Henty books, only just because the vocab is so crazy in here. I let him read along, while he listens to the reader. And usually he would do the assignment you just saw that he used with Rover books, but like I said in my last video, we are going to try a new thing and to do study guides with the Henty books. So I was just talking to him about it today. I was giving a little bit of a preview. So for the first chapter, see how there's all these vocabulary words? And it's nice because they're arranged in the order they appear in the chapter. So this is the order he'll encounter them. So I just told him actually before he reads the chapter, he needs to go ahead, cue up his video if he wants, but then he's got to sit down with his dictionary and just write some brief definitions before he starts. So I want him to know what these words are before he encounters them in the reading and doesn't know what they mean. You know what I mean? Okay, so then he can have that. Then if he comes across one during the reading, he can glance over at this. Right, so once he's done with the reading, he's going to do the chapter questions. There's 7 of them for chapter 1. Then he is just going to check with me, and because I have the answer key, I'm going to just ask him the questions off of the answer key. All right, so I've got the answer key here, and so I'll just ask him what his answer was for question 1, and then he'll tell me, and I'll be reading along. And just if it's totally off base, I'll tell him to go back and look at it again, or we can just talk about it or whatever. I'm not going to be super, super strict about this. This is the first time he's used a study guide like this. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. I'll update you next week how it goes. Anyways, so then I told him activities down here. This is just optional. If something looks interesting to him, that he can do whatever's in the activities section. So I was just reading the compare and contrast the Danes and the Saxons. A Venn diagram might be helpful. So I just drew him out briefly, kind of, what a Venn diagram was. And I don't think that's something he's actually ever done before. So I like that that's bringing stuff like tools like that up. I think that's helpful. That's good information to have. Okay. So I'm just going to write for the planner for him to read. I'm going to say read chapter 1. Correct this to read chapter 2. I was going to say study guide. There we go. And that's it for what I wanted to keep up to date on here. We are behind in our science. So I know we did that day though. So I'll probably just do like 1 lesson tomorrow or 2 lessons tomorrow and then 1 more, and just to catch us up to what I already planned for. And then what's going to be different, we're not done with our science unit, but we're not going to do it next week. Okay, so on to planning this upcoming week. So this week, we're actually just going to, no science. Obviously, no history. We're not in a history unit right now. But that is because I'm just having this week, if you saw my TPT video, I've been really busy with just trying to move my resources over to my Etsy shop. And that's just really time consuming. I've been like moving all that stuff while I was doing homeschool this week. And I think it's part of why I just feel, it's just been kind of a little bit more, I always feel like I have a full plate. So anytime I have to do anything extra, I feel it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not accustomed to it. I'm sure if I was that busy all the time, I would become accustomed to it, but I'm not. Anyways, also it's spring. I bought some flowers the other day that I need to plant. There's just some, I'd like to take a pause on all my plus stuff and just have the kids do their RC plan, the reading, writing, and arithmetic. Of course, we added in Bible. We don't want to skip that one. But just let them stick to the basics, the 3 R's, and the things that they can do independently. And I want to get some deep cleaning done around the house and some yard work and kind of things like that done, and let myself, and I want to have time to put some thought into some products I've been working on. And, getting as much stuff into the shop as I can. So I want to make some time for myself and some other priorities but I want the kids to just keep going with their RC subjects. So I'm going to plan for that now. Okay, so the deal with Bible, we're still doing the Psalms using that wonderful book I showed you before. So what I'm going to have them do is I like to have them play, just find a YouTube version. We've been listening to the New King James Version lately, but just listen to it as they read along in their Bible. And then just go ahead and I'll just have, because I want them to, I want to try to structure this week so that I don't have to be running it. You know what I mean? I want them to be doing their own thing and just let me work on my housework stuff or whatever. And then probably when my husband comes home, I'll work on the shop stuff. But so in the wonderful book, there's a little kind of devotional section after it tells you what psalm to read. And then there's an excerpt. I like to have them do some copy work. So I'll just have them copy the excerpt that's in the wonderful passage for that psalm, and just read the little devotional together and call it good. So I'm just going to tell my oldest, so he's going to be 12 this month. I'm going to tell him he's going to be the leader. He's going to lead his younger brother, who is 7, during that time. I'm going to tell my 7-year-old, we'll see how this works out, right? Everett's the leader. You need to respect that he's the leader for this particular subject. And that I trust them. And then I'll just have my oldest or whoever, or my younger son, doesn't matter. They can write down what psalm they did here, just like I do after it's done. Okay, so for math, Everett is still just working through Saxon, and he can record his own lesson, and he can record his own score. I think it's out of 25. he can only miss 5. If he misses, I think, more than 5, he has to redo the lesson. So he knows that. Oh yeah, and my friend Christina is having knee surgery too. So I wanted to be able to, if she needed anything or to take over meals this week, I wanted to give myself some room to do stuff like that. Okay, so for reading, he is going to read chapter 2. So it should be on to chapter 3, and then we'll say study, guide, vocab, packet. Should be on to lesson 3. Okay, I'm just prepping his next packet for him. Because I like to, honestly. 3:13 to 3:19. I put this under reading because it goes to comprehension. Vocab list, lesson 3. He's gonna have 4 pre and post. So got a 20. Okay. So then writing. So we are still going through writing and rhetoric. So we'd be doing writing and rhetoric and then spelling boot camp. So I'm just going to writing and rhetoric and then page. He'll just write the page that he stopped on. So I like to do this one with him. I think it's helpful. He could do it on his own. Do you know what I mean? But he just, and I could just look at his notebook at the end and take a look at his writing. But I honestly think it's just kind of easier to do it, like just sit there with him and just kind of do it the old-fashioned way. I think it probably takes just as much time because, like when we were doing it today, so going through, he had his his workbook, I had my teacher's workbook. We're going back and forth with each other, and then when we'd pause for him to do like some writing, I was having my second grader work on his sentence writing notebook. So it seemed easy enough to just like kind of go back and forth between the two. They were both doing writing, and I was kind of just going back and forth, so it worked out okay. But if he had to do it by himself, he could. Like if I was really sick or something, like he could do that work on his own. And then like he could look in the teacher's edition to see, kind of compare with the examples of answers in there. So, but I just think it keeps them a little more honest, when you're doing it with them. Okay, so they'll have Taekwondo. Just gotta remind myself that I'm teaching Sunday school, so I need to actually prep for that too. So that was faster than usual. He's done. I just need to pick a color this week. Okay, Everett is done. Time to move on to William. Okay, so what I'm kind of doing differently with William, and I'm kind of switching over midweek. I usually do a workbook page, his regular flashcards for like 10 minutes, and then we play a game, which we are making like steady, he is getting better at them, over like faster, more accurate, and all that kind of stuff. But what I wanted to do was to try because I took this, Karen's Sustainable Remedial Homeschool, but I wanted to try working on his math facts with these triangle flashcards. I just printed them on cardstock. I got the file from Karen from taking her class. Anyway, so I just printed out, a multiplication, facts, quiz, because it's not like we're not starting from scratch, right? She has a different, this is nothing that she told me to do, but like they have a plan for you in that course if you're starting from the very beginning for like all the math facts, like a progression. I don't want to give away her trade secrets before people have had a chance to take the class, doesn't feel right, but I am using these, and so to see where he was weak, I had him take the drill, the 100 problems, the 0 to 12s. I just found this for free on the internet somewhere. And then he got 84 out of 100, so I just circled the ones he got wrong. These ones were kind of like misreads. He went 11 times 7 was 7, and 11 times 4 was 4. I think he was just looking like at the ones place or something. So I kind of crossed those out. So that left us with these other ones to practice. So I just went through after I prepped these cards, and I pulled out the ones that he missed. So we're just going to focus on these facts, and see if we can get these mastered. So I think I'm gonna do that this week and next week. So what I first did, I just flipped it over. I just had him start with this was the first fact I had him work on, and we did the, had to look at it, held it up, and explained to him what it meant, So this was the product of 7 and 8. 8 and 7, right? They equal 56. So then we did the thing where we covered it up, right? If you see this, 7 times what equals 56? 8. Okay, then 8 times what equals 56? 7. 7 times 8 equals what? 56. I told him to stare at it for a while. I did the thing, I said, close your eyes. Now, can you picture it? And I had him, he said, I said, draw it with your fingers. So he drew a circle with his little, or a triangle with his little eyes closed, And then he's like, there's a 56 up here, and then there's an 8 down here, and there's a 7 over here. So he could accurately see that in his mind after we worked on that a couple times. And then I just had him go ahead and put it on he traced it. And then I just had him, he could color it however he wanted. And this is what he decided to do. So we've been doing this for like 3 days. I've just given him one more card each day. I'm just like I don't know. I don't want to overdo a good thing. I'm just having him slowly go through. Okay, maybe he had 1 the first day and 2 the second day. And then he just drew them again, like smaller down here. And he did a different design on that one. So yeah, we're just going to be playing around with these, and I would like to come up with a resource to use with these for like a plan, to make it simple, something that I could hand off to him so that I don't have to tell him every day what to do with these. So yeah, I'm going to be planning that now. Okay, so I'm thinking for math, what I'll have him do is I'll still have him do a workbook page, and then we'll have him do trace 3 triangle flashcards. So I think we'll have him I'll just let him use like the highlighters, and he can trace those and just kind of focus on them for a while. And I'm going to just kind of I'm just going to try to leave him, so trace 3 flashcards and review. So you can do that, and then he can take 3, and then he can just triangle flashcard and review. Then Friday we'll do a math fact test, and we'll just see if that's improved, and then I'll decide what to do on Sunday. Okay, for reading, so Mondays, I think what will be easiest to have me is just out of it is just to go back to usually I alternate, both of these back and forth. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, sorry. And then I do copy work with this one, and I do like something like gentle grammar, or right now we're doing a sentences workbook. So just for simplicity's sake and to go back to our RC foundation, I'm just going to have him read this every day and to do the matching copy work. And this he will need to read to me. So all day this week we're just gonna read McGuffey Revised. And I do a grammar check-in, questions with them while we're doing it, and comprehension check-ins. So I'll just put both of those, and I'll do a comp. I'll probably just pick one thing off of each. I'll just say comp questions because I know what that means. Okay. Then for writing, that'll make things really easy because he'll just do a page of copy work from his McGuffey's copy workbook. No, I won't even, I was thinking maybe I'd have him just go over his phonogram cards, but I'm just not even gonna worry about it. We'll just take this week off. And if I get around to doing spelling with them, if I have extra time, then I can always add that back in. I just left those ones blank so I don't do anything. I would like their help doing some chores. So I think this week I'm going to take some time to do some chore training with them. Okay, so that's it. So this is like my very simplified, no extra subjects. And for Bo, I do his planning, very, very, very minimal planning. So, okay, I'm all caught up. So his things, I'll probably still do his preschool stuff with him just because it doesn't take very long. I could do a really minimal version of it every day. So that is that. I'm all done. Okay. Happy homeschooling.